Hi, this is Melissa Muir, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the shop bag that is offered by Potter USA. This bag is absolutely amazing and beautiful. It is made out of English bridal leather. It's made by a professional saddle maker. His name is Brad Faulkner. The bag, when it comes, is fairly stiff. It's really hard. You can't really tell on the video, but I mean, it's really hard. It's very heavy. It's nice and sturdy and absolutely beautiful. I haven't used it yet just because I'm afraid to make it so it's not quite so pretty. Nice things about this, and what I'm going to do to demonstrate this is I'm going to show you how to raise a bowl off of this. And so it's going to take a little process, but in the process of doing this bowl, the bag is going to soften up and break in very easily and very quickly. The sand that's inside of this is a medium grit sand. Kevin tried a couple of different types of sand, and he found that the ultra fine sand would kind of bunch up, and it just made it so that it wouldn't move quite enough, but the medium grit sand seems to have the right movement. Now, as far as the construction of this, like I said, it's made by a professional saddle maker, and that's what they've used, is this top of the line English bridle saddle. It's double stitched. They've gone through and everything is sealed beautifully along the sides and everything like that as well. It's very full and very hard when you start to use this, so don't be intimidated by that, because like I said, and you'll see in the video, that it's going to break in and soften up quite quickly. So let's get started and we'll see how well it goes. Alright, so I have a 6-inch disc of copper here. It's about 18 gauge. So mine's pretty good size, it's pretty thick. And what I've done is just kind of free-handed some circles on here so that it'll kind of help me as I go through and raise this vessel. Or I'm just going to make kind of a shallow bowl. It's not going to be anything too major. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by hammering, and I'm going to follow one direction on one course, and then on the second course I turn the direction and come the other way. So I did take some time. I found the center of my bowl, and from there I just kind of drew some circles. I mean, you can get pretty precise if you really want to, but I don't really see a need to. What I'm going to do is I just have, it's an embossing hammer, and I like the rounded head of this, so I'm just going to kind of come in and go through this and start to hammer into the bag. Okay, and I'm not going to worry too much right now about overlapping my blows, but you can see that I'm starting to kind of form this a little bit, and it is working into the bag as I go along. Okay, so you're just going to continue to do this. Go all the way around one course, and then you'll come back the next direction, so on and so forth, and then from there we will anneal this, kind of planish it out, anneal it again, and then do the whole process all over again. So I'll do a couple of these and show you how it works into the bag and then how things are going there. And already just that little bit that I have done has already started to soften this area right here where I've been hammering. So we'll see in a little bit. Alright, so here I've finished my first course. I've just gone around just that outer edge. I haven't been too worried about overlapping all of my blows at this point. You can kind of see that. And I'll take care of that a little bit more as I do some of the planishing on the other side once I get through all of these courses and then start to reshape the bowl a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. Alright, here we are after the second round. Things are still getting really wonky here. Again, I haven't been too concerned about overlapping my blows. The sinking is going really well. The bag is really starting to soften up in here where I've been hitting. Okay, you can kind of see where my sharper edges kind of worked into this. But as I work with this and as I continue to use it, it's just going to get softer and more supple and just kind of working beautifully. Alright, so I finished my first round, and you can see that I've ended up not so bowl-like, but more of a curl like this. And a lot of that's just because I did not have my circles really concentric. I just did a rush job kind of through the first round of raising. What I'm going to do now is go and anneal this, take it over to a mushroom stake, kind of smooth out the shape a little bit on the mushroom stake, and then kind of bouge the edges, do a little bit of planishing, and then go from there. Now our bag has softened up quite a bit in this area where I've been doing some of my sinking. So things are kind of softening up. You see a little bit of dirtiness here, and that's again just from my metal and everything like that, but it's coming along really well at this point. Alright, so here I have just a low, well actually I guess it's kind of a medium dome mushroom steak. This is one that actually goes into my hydraulic press. So I've got my shape here. I've kind of evened it out just a little bit so it wasn't quite so just in kind of a boat shape, but more we want to get it into the bowl started. So what I want to do is I want to kind of smooth out some of these edges, and what you want to do is put them onto the steak like this, and you basically want to hit the air. You don't want to necessarily hit the curve or anything like that, but you want to try to hit that air so that it smooths out any of those edges. Okay. And I'm just doing this with a rawhide mallet. This one happens to be a weighted one, but it doesn't have to be. But you can see how smooth that made that. And we remove some of those ripples and wrinkles. Alright, and I just want to keep working my way around the entire piece. Okay, and I don't have my steak very secure in my vise here, so it kind of moves on me. Okay, so again, you'll just kind of work your way around the edges of your bowl like this. Just to get kind of everything all smoothed out. Alright, so at this point, this is what we have. We need to take some time, planish the entire piece, because you don't want to have any soft spots. Like I said before, I did not go through and overlap all of my hammer blows. So we now have some spots that are really hard, and then we have some weak spots, and we don't want to break through those weak spots. So I will take a planishing hammer and just lightly planish the entire surface, and again going around in the concentric circles and changing direction as I go through this. Okay, so to planish, what I've done is I've got my planishing hammer. One side is a little bit rounded, one side's a bit flat. And you're just going to lightly tap the surface, and you can easily see after everything has been annealed where you have planished and where you haven't. And you want to just come through and overlap your blows throughout the entire surface. Okay, this takes a little while, particularly on a larger surface like what I've got here, but it makes a world of a difference. Once I have that done, I'm going to anneal this. Again, mark my circles on the inside, take it back over, and do another round of sinking. Okay, so I'm done with the first round of planishing, first round of sinking. I've annealed it again, and once more I've marked it. I'm going to do one more, at least one more, maybe 2 or 3 more rounds of sinking, and we'll kind of go from there. Now, it is important that if you do some of these projects, you take the time every 30-45 seconds, shake your arm out. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a nasty case of tendinitis, and that's just not fun. So here we go again. Alright, this is all the further I'm going to take this at this point in time, but this is what I have after 2 rounds of sinking and forming. I did take this to the mushroom steak that I have for the hydraulic press, and kind of went around and formed it and cleaned up some of the edges. You see that I still have some work to do here, and I'll probably do at least 2, maybe 3 more rounds of sinking and forming on this until I'm ready for it. You can also see that I have a lot of planishing that needs to be done on this. But at this point, my shot bag is actually much more pliable. I've got a lot softer surface here on the edge where I've done a lot of the sinking with my bowl here. So this bag is great. I love how easily it is broken in. I love this texture of it. I love the color. I mean, even just as a piece of artwork, it's beautiful. Anyway, the bags are only $55. You can get them at Potter USA.